Hi there, this is Sue OHanlon, and I am here to bring you this week's refresh. I was thinking about Pastor Dar and what she was preaching on Sunday. We're going through these values, and we're on this value of evangelism. Comes right out of the passion for saving the lost, right? And she talked about the Great Commission that he told the apostles, which transfers to us. Make disciples of all nations. Make disciples of all nations. Well, how do you make a disciple? They have to know about Jesus. They have to become a disciple is a follower of Jesus, someone who follows in his footsteps and learns his ways and starts to live according to him. And we know someone who's actually asked God to be present in their lives, accepted Jesus. That's a disciple, and he tells us to make disciples of all nations. And it's true that in the book of Ephesians, it does talk about Christ himself gave apostles, prophets, evangelists, pastors, and teachers to the body to equip his people for works of service. But that's to teach us. We are the church. We are supposed to be the ones who go out. We're the ones who are on kingdom business if you're a follower of the king. I always like to say I'm a king's kid and I'm on kingdom business every day. That's what I want to be about. So making disciples and sharing the gospel can be really scary for a lot of people. And I'm a pretty verbal person, and it can get scary for me. But I've been through a lot of training and a lot of situations, and I'm better than I used to be. And I want to just encourage you. I'm not sure what Pastor Dar is going to preach on or what she's going to share this week, but he did say, go into all the world and proclaim the gospel to the whole creation. So how do we share? Think about the women that went to the tomb that very first Easter morning, and they saw that he wasn't there, and they ran back to where the apostles or the disciples were hiding. And what did they do? They told what they knew. They told their story. We went to the tomb and he wasn't there. That's what's the biggest part about sharing the gospel, is sharing what you know, sharing your story. Remember when we had many people, several of us, shared our story during the sermon time before Pastor Dar came on, and in telling their story, we were sharing the gospel. When I shared my story, I had a few people that came to me and said, I don't know Jesus like that. Can you help me? Just like my dad had done. That's how we share the gospel. We share our story. And I want to just say it's okay to practice. You know, in the therapy room, often people have difficulty confronting people or saying hard things or drawing boundaries. And sometimes we'll practice right in our sessions. Okay, why don't let me be this person and you try. And or let me tell you what I would say, you be the person, and let's just role play a little bit. And I think it's a great thing to try, is just figuring out what you might say and then practicing it with another person. It's okay to do that. And practicing helps us get those words in our vocabulary. It helps us to be more fluid with them. There's this other thing that I want to share with you. People get really worried about being awkward or about an awkward situation. Well, if I do that, it's going to be so awkward. And I want to tell you something I figured out. We've been through a lot of different traumas in our family. But one thing that I've learned is that awkward will not kill you. It'll be awkward and then it will be done. Sometimes I might say, well, this is kind of awkward, huh? People need to know about Jesus. Sometimes people think sharing the gospel means inviting people to church. That's one way to bring people closer. Maybe they'll get touched by the Holy Spirit in church, and that's a great way. But it's really okay to start to share your story. Start to say, well, I'm a follower of Jesus, and so this is what I do. I pray. And I've started saying, instead of saying I'm a Christian, I might say, I'm a person of faith, or I'm a follower of Jesus, so I really believe in prayer. So I prayed about it. And that's how I handled that situation. And people just kind of get curious, and it might open a door. So those are just some thoughts and suggestions. But I'm really happy that we as a church are working on this and going to find our way in this. The world needs Jesus. I hear so many broken stories of broken lives. The world needs Jesus. So just wanted to give you that to chew on this week. Hopefully Dar will teach us a lot more on Sunday. Thanks so much. Have a great week, and God bless you.